We are live on Facebook, and welcome to Start Broadcasting from your local community with myself and David. Good afternoon, David.
Yes, to you as well, sir.
Thank you. How are things with you at the moment?
Fantastic. It's we've actually in Canada, where everybody thinks it's cold all the time, we've actually been having some record-breaking heat days. We're like, I don't know, we're close to like 38 degrees Celsius right now in September.
We're nowhere near that. We're about 18.
Oh, so yeah?
It's pretty cool.
I don't mind the cool. We're just it's September here. We're not. Yeah, it's been. We've had 3 days of record-breaking heat in a row, and tomorrow's supposed to be another one. It's supposed to be higher tomorrow, and then I don't know. Mother Nature's well, she can do whatever the heck she wants, I guess.
Well, that's very true. We're fortunate. I think we're both fortunate that we don't live in an earthquake zone or hurricane zone.
Right. Yeah, we really. Yeah. No, I'm not complaining by any means. If I'm not looking right at you, by the way, I'm sharing our show around here, and hopefully we can find.
And we say good afternoon to Mark, and let's sort the screen out. Mark, good to see you. If you want to join us on camera, I think I've just posted the link. Let me check. If I haven't, I'm going to do that now. Now take a second or two, theoretically.
1, 2.
All right. Okay, go on. I'm just going to edit a post and say join us. Right. So there's the link to join us, which I put in the post. I put it in the second post as well because I've actually managed to duplicate everything. Nothing new.
Hello, Mark Casey as well. I don't think I've met Mark before.
Well, it'd be good if you.
I hope I haven't, because if I did, I just don't remember him. I'm still working on a camera.
Okay. Right. Okay. Yeah, I'm back in camera now. Right. Okay. Mark's not sorted for camera at the moment, but he's going to get himself sorted, so that'd be good. And again, just click the link, and you can come in and join us. So everybody's watching now.
Okay. Sorry.
Yep.
Let me know when. Let's go with that camera thing. You know, Mark just mentioned not sorted for a camera yet. No, Mark, I haven't. No, I was just teasing, but I look forward to speaking with you and seeing you come on camera. I think, we talk about broadcasting to your community, and, last week we talked about what that is, for what I do locally. I mean, what anybody can do locally in their community is amazing. And I've really got some interesting stuff to share with you this week. And
hopefully. Okay.
I'm tangled up. Hang on, folks. What is that? This is April. This is April Roga's fault.
Okay.
Because she's always said whatever will go wrong with live will. So now it's true, right?
Oh, it's very true. I'm just going to close a couple of browser windows because
you're a little.
Yeah, I know.
You're a little blurry, and I'm drinking water here, so it's not me.
Right, so let's close that down and close that down and come back. How are we doing now?
You're better.
I'm better. Right. Okay. Right.
So, so I was just saying, I've got quite a few things that I was thinking about over the weekend. I did a hockey game and gave me some ideas. But let's talk about cameras. First we talked about community, we talked about local, and then we talked last week about how our community really is our platforms, whether it's Facebook or YouTube, on this platform or Facebook. But and there's so many choices out there. I love Belive TV, and thanks to them for allowing us to have this platform. But I'm not going to lie, there's a lot of other great platform programs out there.
Indeed.
And but I think the camera thing holds people back a little bit as far as what camera to use.
Yep. Okay.
I've got a junk room over here full of old webcams that are not as good quality as what I'm using right now. I'm using a Logitech HD. It's a probably $100 camera, webcam. But I think the key we got to keep reminding everybody of, Steven, is just plug one in and go. You know, you can have crappy video, but good audio, and people will pay attention.
Very true. Very true. And the thing is, as you say, it's just do it, isn't it? I mean, the only thing that can go wrong is it goes wrong. I mean, if it's total, if you do a broadcast and everything goes right, then it's a minor miracle. If you do a broadcast and you're not happy with it, then you just delete it. Well,
and if it doesn't work out, like, welcome. Like, welcome to live streaming, right? It's not, it's you're a professional if it screws up. It's funny. You know, for the most part. I mean, I get it. People want to be perfected and perfection. What am I trying to say? They want it perfect. I get it. I find live easier than recorded because, you know, I don't know about you. I took piano lessons and I was always taught that if you missed a note, what do? You just keep going.
Yeah, so, you play another note.
Yeah. So I find recording when I record my segment for my weekly show, or if I'm out doing interviews with people that are recorded, I screw up more. And then I stop and I go, I'll do that over again.
Yep.
Oh, I don't like that. Or I don't like the sound of my voice, or my hair was out of place, or my eyebrow is crooked, or whatever. Right. And so we criticize ourselves more when we screw up, when we go live. All you can do is keep going. I don't know. Are you a Star Trek fan at all?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, oh yeah, definitely. Go on then.
So here's a story that William Shatner told, and I was quite young when I was probably in my teens when I saw him on a television show, and he told this story about live television. And he was asked if he enjoyed live television. He said, well, the thing about live television is you have to keep going. He says, I remember one time I was in a play, or it was a live stage, and it was on television, and we kept going. And he said, I was supposed to pick up the gun and shoot the guy I was talking to. So my monologue went on, and I went to the spot. We were in a bar, and I went over to the bar, and the prop person forgot to put the gun on the bar where I was supposed to grab the gun and shoot him. So what do? I got to shoot this guy, or I got to kill this guy. So he says, I looked around in the bar, and he says, I saw a corkscrew wine bottle opener thing. So I picked it up and I screwed the guy to death. So, you know, I mean, funny story, but basically you just got to do it, and you got to just be creative and just relax. Just like,
and improvise.
Yeah.
Which,
you just have fun with it, right?
Oh yeah. Yeah. I mean, if you're not having fun, then there's no real point, is there?
Like, I just told a really weird William Shatner story. You know,
that's true. If anybody wants to join us on camera, you'll find a link in the comments and up above. Either of those will work, and you can come and chat to David and I. And
now beam, yeah, Mark. Now beam down my clothes. Yeah.
Indeed.
The Scotty. Oh, what's his real? That's terrible. I can't remember his real name. He's actually from the city that I live in, Sarnia, Ontario, and he went to high school here that's about 2 blocks away from me, known as Skits.
Ah,
Scotty did.
So Star Trek link.
Yeah.
close by.
That's right.
Right, so if you're a Star Trek fan, just type star in the comments, then we know who we're talking to, and we'll see if we can dig up more stories on Star Trek. Yeah. So the camera is one thing. The other thing you've got to have right is a microphone, isn't it? Because if you don't have a decent microphone, then basically we know that people will scroll away.
That's right. Well, I've learned and I've read, but I've learned it firsthand. You probably have too. People will watch a crappy video as long as they can hear it really good. But if you have a great looking video, but the audio sucks, they turn the channel. And, I think it's one of those things where there's just so many choices. Like you can go anywhere and buy a microphone, and you can go, but it doesn't have to be expensive either. I am going to reveal a secret on this show now.
Go for it.
Would you say that the microphone I'm talking into sounds really good?
It does, yes.
Very professional.
Yeah. It looks professional too.
It's got a nice sound of it. Okay.
Yeah.
So if I made this is a mic flag, so I promote my brand, but what this is a USB microphone. Okay. Which is fantastic.
Yeah.
Have you ever heard of the PlayStation?
Yes.
Have you ever heard of a video game called Rock Band?
Vaguely, yeah.
Okay, so it's a set of drums and toy guitars, and the things come off the screen. You got to play them with the right. And in Rock Band, somebody's a singer. So in the kit comes the game and the toy things or whatever, and a microphone. So the lead singer of the band sings into.
Yeah, I see where this is going.
This is a microphone from the video game Rock Band for the PlayStation 3 or whatever the heck it is, right? So, and I actually, we had that. My son and I had that, and he just stopped playing it. So I took it and went, "Oh, it's a USB microphone. I'll use that. Sounds great." And I've actually been to, I call them Sally Ann's, but Goodwills or whatever, and go through their electronics section and seen all kinds of Rockstar USB microphones just thrown around because it's not as popular anymore. That's what I'm using for a microphone. It cost me $3.
Well, there you are. So if you look out for one of those, I'm wearing a lapel microphone, but the point is that it doesn't have to be expensive. It just has to sound good.
Yeah, and you know, like it depends on your comfort. Like I use this. I enjoy talking this way. It sounds good. It gives me an opportunity to show off my brand. You maybe wear what you're wearing because you're comfortable that way. I mean, I have that same, but just be comfortable. But there's definitely something to be. I got headset microphones. You got this all in one, but you really just have to experiment too, right?
Oh yeah, true. I mean, I tried several before I settled on this one, and I'm quite happy with the sound. I was virtually forced into it because of doing the Udemy courses.
Right. Yes.
And you've either got to have a sound studio with the walls soundproofed and a microphone with a cover on it, and spend quite a bit of money.
Yeah.
And then, even then, you've got to take the audio from the video you've recorded, strip the MP3, strip the sound off, put it through Audacity, take out any white noise that might be there, and then put the two back together again. And there's an art to that.
Absolutely.
With the PAL mic, the actual any echo or reverberation or white noise is sort of absorbed. And Udemy actually recommend the mic. So if they've got a problem with it, it's their fault. Yeah,
that's right. Yeah. Well, and that's like this mic too. It's more directional, right? Because I think if I'm talking right now, you can hear me pretty good. But if I kind of go like this, it's pretty obvious.
Yep, that's right.
Away, and then I'm back again, right? So
you were definitely off camera then.
Yeah, like I have a fan about 4 feet away from me blowing on me.
Yeah,
but you can't hear that.
No, can't hear that. No.
Yeah.
I just wish I could swap my 18 degrees for your 30-odd degrees, though.
Well, I'm in my studio's in the basement of my home, so it's usually it's a good spot. It's cool down in the basement, right? So It's good. But yeah, anyway, to back to the point is just start, grab a webcam and grab a microphone. I personally have created a web page, or not, sorry, a web page, a Facebook page that is unpublished. So in other words, the public can't see it.
Okay, yeah.
I go to that and go live there, and then I go and watch it. Nobody else can see it. It never shows up. And then go back and watch yourself and listen to yourself. Criticize yourself. But don't let something you see, because you will see or hear it, don't let that stop you from going out and doing it. And I think, and aside from that, when we talk about broadcasting in the community, whatever that is, do what you love. Like if you're a photographer, talk about photography. If you're an advocate for youth homeless, talk about that. Whatever your thing is, that's what you need to be doing, because when you're doing that, when you're doing what's near and dear to your heart, pardon me, it's really easy to talk about it.
That's it. If you've got a passion for it and you've got knowledge about it, then you can do it. You can come live and you can talk about it. And as we're doing at the moment, we're working from what we know.
Yeah.
And it is easy and straightforward because you're in your comfort zone. If you're in your comfort zone, as far as knowledge is concerned, everything else is secondary.
That's right. I mean, there is something to be said for stepping out of your comfort zone. And I think most of us know that story, but you can step out of your comfort zone even by talking about what you love, because you'll learn, you'll learn more about what you're talking about as you grow through it. Your presentation skills will increase. Your interview skill, all that stuff comes. It's so simple, right? Like, it's funny how we can talk an hour about it every week, but it's all really so simple. And who's Peter Stewart? Hello, Peter.
Peter Stewart is my good friend from
Frank
Scotland.
Sinatra.
That's right.
Yeah, that's right.
He's back.
Oh boy.
I'm going to get a thumbs up when he's ready. Okay, and we welcome aboard.
See, and I just broke my glasses.
Oh, a gentleman himself, Peter Stewart.
So now I'm I'm broke.
Oh,
hello, Peter. Welcome back.
How you doing? Now, listen, just before we go any further, one of the somebody from America and I know a guy in Britain, they've come up with a new microphone, and because of the speaking industry, it's actually for the smartphones, and it is a lapel mic and it's Bluetooth, and it's called Hey Mic, HEYMIC, and there's a special offer on it just now, which I must take up, first 500, because they know what it's like speaking to camera out there in the wind. So it's actually attached to the lapel, and they can go and give talks and record on their iPhone, which is far away, on a Bluetooth, something that we've all been waiting for. So I suggest you, Hey Mic, it's called HEYMIC. Steve Clark's the guy, one of the guys. I don't know the Americans.
I'll have to check that out. Thanks for sharing that. That sounds something familiar to what I've been looking for, actually.
Yeah.
It's a very small world, because last month I went to a business day in Swindon, and one of the speakers was Steve Clark.
There you go.
There you go. And Steve and I have known each other for the last 12 years.
Really?
But it was the first time we'd met. Yeah, I mean, we met on a UK networking site called Academy.
Oh yeah, Academy.
Yep. And it was good to meet him for the first time ever, and to listen to an interesting half-an-hour speech, because he, besides Hey Mike, as you say, is a well-known international speaker. Mm-hmm. He writes books and world. Does he not?
Yeah. I mean, the thing is, I don't know him too. I've met him once, on something else. Just to let you know that I'm stuck up in the north of Scotland, which is away northeast of Britain, so we don't get to see too many speakers. We can't go and see a lot of speakers, etc. We've got to travel for it, you know. Because when people are learning to speak, it's very hard to go and see speakers, you know, big speakers. So,
yeah.
What's your conversation today, folks?
It's our nominal title today. If I can find my agenda. My agenda's disappeared. No, it hasn't. Just a minute. I can give you the show title.
Mm-hmm.
And it's one you should be familiar with. It's Start Broadcasting for Your Local Community.
Yeah.
Which is exactly what you did. Do you want to talk about that?
What did I do?
The business shows.
Business shows. Oh, the Talkinator.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. Yeah. So I'm very much aware that not only people are scared of speaking to camera, they're absolutely terrified speaking in front of groups. And I go to Business Network International every week, and some of the 60 seconds are absolutely atrocious. So what I thought I would do is I would help people get up and speak, come onto camera at 7 o'clock. Now, what I'm also going to do, Stephen, is I'm going to change maybe the format. If I can't get people to come on live at 7 o'clock from their home, I might just go in and record the interview in their place. Just going to meet them, make sure they've got good Wi-Fi, and sit and have a chat with them about their business. But I'm also built up a community throughout the UK where I'm going to ask the people who are good speakers if they'd like to come on and tell us a bit about their business, where they've come from, but at the same time give them the opportunity to advertise a course or sell a book and do something with Hi John and do something like that. So it's just not going to be local. That's what I intend to do, make it UK-wide, even worldwide in the future. So I've got an opportunity to meet people from all areas rather than just keeping it to Aberdeen. For instance, I've got a guy who's very good at LinkedIn. I got a taster of it, and he's given me to go and look at a free course, and I hope to get him on because he's very good at LinkedIn. And I thought, wow, I'd love to get a chat with this guy, see where he's taking it.
Well,
so there you go.
Indeed. I mean, this is interesting because David has actually been broadcasting way before we ever found ourselves on Blab. And broadcasting for the local communities is something that you specialise in, David. And have you any thoughts about what Peters wants to do, especially in relation to pre-recording?
Yeah, absolutely. In fact, that's some of what Peter's talking about. I've done as well. I do what's called a business spotlight series in my local community. So, a business. And I also do a personal spotlight. So a one-on-one with somebody in the community who's had an impact on the community or, has a passionate story to tell, something of that nature. And there's been some monetization there, and then we can talk a little bit more about that. And then, my weekly recorded show. And then now I do my live show Tuesday nights at 8 o'clock Eastern, which I just started recently, called Live with David. And that's more of how, branding wise, I want to make that the worldwide thing, right? Because I do my local show, I have for 6 years, and it's branded well and lots of followers. And now I did kind of a pilot project at the beginning of the summer with it. And I had some, remote guests, and I had some local guests that were on, and now I just want to keep that as international, if you will, as I can. So I think you can. I've been sort of struggling with this a little bit, actually, because of the when you try to brand yourself with something, you try to follow a path of theme, and the word local was what got started in me. But now I can still do local, but I can do local around the world.
Yes.
That makes sense, right?
Yeah.
My local community here of 73,000, but I also have a local community of however many bazillion are on, I don't know what the planet is, but you know what I'm saying? And so I could go to your community and talk about you, the local guy.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's an opportunity in itself too. Let's talk local, but let's talk local in other communities, because and one of my visions with the video show network right now, my brand is, live streaming Sarnia Lambton. Mm-hmm. Now I want to eventually turn that into live streaming everywhere. And that really means something.
When you live stream, do you use Facebook Live most of the time to get your audience?
For me, yes, because that's what I built over 6 years, right? I have a huge following. I say huge, like I'm not, but I have a large following, but I multi-purpose too. Whenever I can, I'll go to Facebook Live, YouTube Live, and Twitter using I can't remember what it's called. Restream.
Restream.io.
Yeah, I mean, I've been out of it for a while now, and I have to do some. I used to do this years ago. You see, I was lucky enough in my early days in business when I was 27, now 57, and I was lucky enough to get onto television and onto radio. And first of all, it started with a live. They said, "Could you come and describe a pest control job on radio?" So I described it all, going around a farm. It was great. And then the next thing, the television got hold of me, and then they come out and they filmed me. And then I was on a British-wide farming program, and I absolutely loved it. That's why I've always loved the media and kind of became a spokesperson. And it's the future. There's a chap here in Aberdeen, an Indian chap came to here. I had a chat with him, and he's just sitting there speaking, and he's a computer technician. And he was telling me he got 15,000 people looking at him locally, just putting it in LinkedIn, telling him about a new contract he got. And sometimes it's not about selling, sometimes it's just about helping other people. And things like that. So I've got my pest control business, and I'm also looking to, when I go networking now, Stephen see me do a couple of things and say, "Hey, listen, it's now 6 a.m. I'm sitting here in my car, and I'm going to wait to do networking, and I'm going out to have a chat with people." So what I'm going to have to do is make sure that I carry my selfie stick with me everywhere. I keep forgetting it. I've got them everywhere.
Yeah, how many do you want? all day.
Sorry, just one question. What would you say was the one thing that people really come to look at your broadcast for in your local live ones?
What do they come to look for?
Yeah,
or why do they?
Yes.
If we start with what you broadcast, David, that's probably the best place to start.
Yeah. Well, so whoa, I got noises going off everywhere. So my weekly recorded show is about my community of 73,000. So it's a 10-minute recorded show. I do an entertainment segment and a community segment. So the entertainment scene is talking to the local theater, to a local comedian, to anything entertainment, right? As long as it's positive.
Okay.
Pardon me. And then the community segment is it could be a fundraiser for something. It could be the Cancer Society. Anything community oriented, right? It's pretty self-explanatory. So I think the reason that people are watching that is because they can, first of all, they can connect directly with me because I've lived here all my life, so I have those relationships. For I was an entertainer, karaoke. I was a karaoke host professionally, full time for 25 years.
Yeah, we've got a lot in common.
Yes, we do. And so I was thinking about you yesterday, actually. We'll talk about that at the end. Maybe that's another show. And so there's a connection, right? So I have that one-on-one connection where I'm actually out in the community, walking down the street, and people can say hi, and so they're interested in what's going on in their community. Our local radio station, we have 3 radio stations here owned by the same company. They do a fantastic job, actually, of supporting the community. They support my show. I work for them part-time, and they know what I do. They support it. So they're really good with the community, but they're limited, honestly, because they are a business, and that's what they do, right? They're not in the music business; they're in the advertising business. So. But we live in a great community, so I think it's just more direct with what I have, because of social media and everything else. So that's, it's just it's a relationship thing, whether it's in person. Or online. Steven and I feel anyway that we have a great relationship, and we have great synergy in our show. That's why it works well, I think. We've never met in person, but I'd have him over for Christmas dinner anytime.
I've never met him in person. I go to Birmingham, and when I go down, they run away. Do you know? The same. The question for me is, right? Do you have to? Do you have to market yourself now? Do you put on what's coming up next? Do people contact you and say, "Hey, I'm having a fundraiser. Could you come and see us for 10 minutes?"
Yeah. No, I haven't done as much as what's coming up next week because it's very. I kind of do it for a couple of reasons. One, I want people to go, well, I know there's going to be something good on there, so I just have to go watch it.
Okay.
The other reason is I don't necessarily know. Like, I have a show coming out this Wednesday, so today is my deadline to get those 2 interviews done so that I can start editing tomorrow, so it's out by Wednesday, 9 a.m. I could do it last week, but I was at a local hockey game this Saturday, which I go to all the home games, and I don't know what the score is until after the game's over. I see what I'm saying, and I want to talk about that. So it's timed. And it goes for the guests sometimes too. It's like, what's coming up that, it's a timing thing. But I market, I have signage when I'm live somewhere. Is he back? There you go. Oh, okay. Bye. So, when I'm at local hockey games and stuff, like I have a media tent that I take out, and like, this is a full-time gig for me. This is my living. This is what I do, and I treat it like a business because... So
the next question is...
Yeah, go ahead.
How do you make money from it?
I knew that was coming.
From Scotland especially, yes.
How do you make money? I will tell you for $29.95.
That's a brilliant answer.
Well, and honestly, that's part of it, because I didn't put myself out there in the beginning as a social media expert, hire me to do the job or consult with you and stuff. But I'm starting to do more of that now, and I'm getting asked more because of the success that I've been able to put out there. So people go, how do you make money at this? That's the most popular question. Or, I have been hired to help some local nonprofits promote their events, and some businesses are reaching out to me now. So I've earned it, I guess. It's created itself on as part of my brand, and I'm happy to do it. But I think what people look at is like this program here today. If we're spending an hour here talking, how are they making money in that hour? And the answer is right now we're not.
No.
But you said something earlier, Peter, that was interesting. Was there's you talk about selling. And it's not just about we are selling something right now. I want you to watch my show. I want you to tune in tomorrow night at 8:00 Eastern for Live with David. I want you to, because this allows us to create our relationships, and then people look at us and go, I want to find out more what that guy's about. So then they go to LinkedIn and they go wherever and they go, oh, and by the way, I see he does do voiceover work, videography work for small business. He can live stream my event, So I've always said this is the chicken wing.
Mm-hmm.
So that you'll buy the beer.
Yeah.
Right? So I think that answered your question.
It does. I mean, I'm going to go for an advertising break now and say, if you're wondering how David and I
They're breaking up.
doing you look at my courses on YouTube then. I know I did.
Think you need a refresh.
I got you need a refresh.
Can you see me? Can you see me now?
You're okay now.
Right. Okay. Yeah. That was a technical problem. Siri on my computer decided to kick in, and it was listening to me and trying to interpret what I was saying. And
hey Siri, who's Steven Healey?
That's a good question. Hopefully, you get the right answer as well, especially if you Google it.
First. I got to unlock my iPhone first.
Okay, here's contact information for Steven Healey.
See?
It's famous.
Infamous.
I've always said I've been famous for years. I just want the money now.
Well, it's funny you put. You know, you're talking about LinkedIn. I do Facebook videos. I'll go on live, and sometimes people come on and chat to me. And I was sitting in a hotel 2 weeks ago before I went on to this X Factor thing, and I don't know if you've seen it, Stephen. I was just sitting in my hotel room, and I said, "I'm bored. I need to talk to somebody." And people were coming on, and I just chatted about anything. But I said, "Ask me questions, please." And it was amazing. What I haven't used a lot of videos yet, and I'm going to, is on LinkedIn, because I've done a couple of posts. I haven't been using LinkedIn, but I've done a couple. I went on it. You must tune in. I'm going to get Miles to do this. And I went on LinkedIn recently, and I replied to somebody, and it was quite a big reply. And I was amazed at the people that actually looked at it.
Oh, and
it tells you who they are: chief executives, charities, big businesses. And so I'm trying to analyze what they were looking at, and I was really surprised who was coming on. So I must get some more stuff on LinkedIn and videos as well. I don't like the written word. I prefer to chat. I just prefer to. I can't be done with typing and writing. I just want to come on here and I'm going to chat, and I'll tell you what I want. I'll put on LinkedIn what I want to say to you from a camera, and people will get to know you better.
Yeah. LinkedIn works great. At least it's been working great for me. And what I've found that I've done is I use, I don't know if you've heard of If This Then That.
No.
Yeah. Okay. IFTT.
Yeah. IFTT. So it's If This Then That. So you can link it to, it's free. That's the best part. So let's say you post something on Facebook. So if I post a picture on my Facebook page, if I do that, then, and you can link all your other world accounts, you can even turn lights on and off in your home and everything.
Yeah.
So I have it share my stuff to the LinkedIn account.
All right.
So I don't even really spend any time on LinkedIn. A couple times a day I go on my phone and I see who connected and I reply. But it shares all my stuff to LinkedIn, and I get tons of viewership from LinkedIn. So I mean that's something I would look at. More people need to be using LinkedIn. I think it's starting to be. I think it struggled in the beginning. It was kind of like, oh, just another social media platform. What do I need that for? I have Facebook. And it's similar but different. It's I would encourage people to engage in it more, or pick two platforms to start with. But I mean, I'm just adding Snapchat now. What do I want to add Snapchat for? Well, it's another platform. It's a younger demographic that I don't have yet.
Yeah.
I just don't get Snapchat. I do get LinkedIn though. I do get LinkedIn, and I think more and more use, and as Peter says, putting videos on there, which is what I've started doing today, coincidentally, may well be the way to go to interact, because it's far easier to do a 2-minute video than it is to do a 2,000-word blog post. So
yeah,
because
we're lazy.
Well, no, well, it's just more effective. As Peter just said, what you're actually seeing is you. You can't blag it on video. To come back to a story about video, because I'd like you to tell this story, Peter, because X Factor, it's got 3 people in it who we know. Can you tell your X Factor recent activities, Peter? Tell us about them.
Down in Birmingham.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So this is me, right?
Okay.
You probably don't know that name in the States, right?
Canada.
That is one of the main judges in the X Factor. And if you look, I'm very similar to him, right? So that's one of my daytime jobs. I'm an X Factor lookalike judge. And 3 weeks ago, no, I think it was 3 weeks ago, I was down in Birmingham with a big computer firm, and all we had to do was go around and meet everybody wearing Microsoft's T-shirts. Oh, I'll get that later. And
basically, Siri calling.
That's what we've done. We just went about getting that done, and that's part of my life, being on the X Factor, as looking as one of the judges, which then led me on to become a speaker, and then do a bit of speaker training. Then I became a singer, and incidentally, I went out on Saturday night, and something. I went out and I had a ball. I did 3 songs at the karaoke. Place was packed, and it went down extraordinarily well. And I just felt I was on the stage, and people come up and said, but you're not, you've done this before. I says, I know, but I felt great. So it means I'm getting back. I'm coming back.
Excellent. Good to hear.
That's a great story.
Yeah, I mean, we haven't mentioned it yet, but Peter and I do a show every Thursday morning, 5 a.m. your time, 10 a.m. ours. And it's called Blubbing for Britain. And there are 4 of us. John has been commenting earlier, Peter, myself, and our good friend Stephen Silk, and we've been together. This is our 93rd episode this week. So we've started on Blab, and then we went to Fire Talk, and then we went to Huzza, and then we went to, so we've been together for a long time.
Blab. I miss Blab.
I think we all do.
Yeah.
Well, listen, gents, could you take me off screen now? I'm going to go and take this call. Okay. Now, how long have you got left?
We've got 17 minutes left, Peter.
I'll be back. Right,
Thanks.
so
Thanks,
off
Peter.
now, and I'll go take this call. Okay.
Yep. Right. And Peter
he's fantastic.
He is he's got a good sense of humour. He can sing, as we heard the other week, and I enjoy chatting with him. We don't do anything other than just chat about what's going on. And it's just
I've watched some of your video, like repurposed, right? So right, I've been you guys are entertaining.
Thank you for that. And if anybody wants to join us on the show, then just press the link, which is either up above or down below, and you're more than welcome to come and chat with us, as Peter does. Peter's going to take a phone. And that theory cut in. I couldn't, you can't legislate for things like that, can you?
Sorry, you broke up there for a second.
All right, when the unexpected happens.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, expect the unexpected, right? That's
indeed. I'm just going to.
Yeah, Peter brought up a really good point there. Monetization. I mean, that's the talk of the town when it comes to this live streaming thing, because we don't see any ads here at the moment, nothing like that kind of stuff. It's a different way of selling. It's relationship building. I keep saying that over and over, but it's relationship building, You will do business with me because you know me, like me, and trust me. Unless what I'm doing is absolutely crazy stupid. But that's basically those 3 reasons for the most part. I mean, everybody likes the deal, but know you, like you, and trust you. And And it's every business needs to be going live because of that factor alone. Relationship. I've got a local gentleman here who's he's in an investors group, and I said to him, "You need to go live." Oh, I hate the sound of my own voice. I said, "Well, put earplugs in then. You don't have to talk to anybody." But it's just getting them started, right? It's like, here's your iPhone, here's a little tripod, we'll put it up there and I'll press play, and I'll sit in front of you behind the camera and you just talk like you're talking to me. Yeah. It's just a conversation. And when it's like when I go to interview somebody, do I look at you, David, or do I look at the camera? Why don't you just look at me and smile? How about that'd be great. Like, we're just having a conversation about you and what you're telling me, right? So but I get it. I mean, nobody liked writing speeches in school and stuff like that, and most of us don't like to talk as much as David Burrows does. You have to tell me to shut up. I get it, but but you just have to do it. I repeat. Just do it. You have to have an episode 1.
Did I tell you about my story, David? I've got a pest control business.
Yeah, right? You mentioned that. Yeah,
and one of the best things I've done was last year was go on video. Right. I mean, I got 10,000 views locally on my first video.
That's awesome. I'm jealous.
But when I went in for my operation, I had to get an emergency operation into my side. Did I tell you this before?
Yeah, you mentioned it last week you were going through. Yeah.
I did. Did I tell it? There's no point if you've known it. So anyway, when I was getting this emergency incision into my side, all the doctors were around me, even the young doctors who were training. And just before he was about to do the job, one of the doctors looked across from the edge of the bed and he said, "Excuse me, sir, do you have a chap that works for you called Willie?" And I goes, "Yes." He goes, "I thought it was you with your voice." He said, "We watch your videos." And that was the surgeons who were going to wait to cut me open.
Yeah.
The video.
I mean, that's the thing. Unless somebody actually comments or likes our posts on Facebook, we don't know who's watching.
No,
we have no idea who's watching.
It used to freak me out a little bit because all the years I did karaoke, right? Yeah. People saw me and I saw them, so I knew who was the regular in the bar 3 nights a week and I saw you there. Yeah. When I started doing this, and even now, it's a good problem, but people walk up to me and go, "Oh, hey, I watch your show. Hey, I watch your show." People I've known but haven't seen in like years. Teachers from my high school 30 years ago. "Oh yeah, David, I watch your show," and you're just like, wow. It's kind of creepy in the beginning, right? But I mean, glad you're watching, but you don't I have no idea who's watching right now. It could be a celebrity for all we know. It could be my next door neighbor. It's anybody.
Just never know. When I see in Facebook when I've done my videos, I just seen people putting other people's names, who put other people's names, who put other just names so they could watch it. But one day I was walking down the street in my uniform. I wear a uniform, and I'm walking down the street, and 2 guys in suits stopped me, and they said, "You're the guy that's on the pest control videos." I said, "That's correct." And he says, "We really like them." And I look at 2 suits and I said, "What do you do?" He says, "We're in marketing." "Not really." He says, "We do some big companies, but we love what you do." And I went, "Wow." He says, "They pay us a lot of money." And I says, "Well, I'm paying nothing." And I just do the Facebook. And I said, what do you enjoy about it? And I says, your humor. And I said, "What do you want to see more of?" He says, "We'd like to see you doing your job, see what things you get up to." That was quite interesting. So, but one of the things I've learned with it is try to keep them as short as possible so it doesn't go on and on and on. Get to the point, But there's a famous guy here in Aberdeen called Naz Hussain. He was one of my first gets, completely off his rocker. But everybody knows him. Right? We have a comedy show, and what we are going to do is we are going to film chasing him about Aberdeen with a big net because he's the biggest pest in Aberdeen. And
I can't wait to see it.
Yeah,
sorry.
This is a guy who.
I can't wait to see it.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I've been on this. I was on that show. I was producing the show, and that particular night, Naz would not believe he was live on Facebook. He wouldn't have it for the first 10 minutes. He was amazed that he was actually live, and everybody could see him. And if he'd stopped moving, they could have seen. Just quite an amazing experience. And the thought of you running around trying to catch him with a net, well, that's a good one. That'd be good.
Yeah, well, he's so well known. What I'm going to do, me and Willie's quite well known as well now, my employee. I was sitting there with our baseball caps, quite American looking baseball caps, and he's a straight man, and he makes a fool of me.
I see a fundraiser in all of this.
Well, I've had work out of it. I know that. No, the odd wasps and things, $100 as you would call it, $100 here, but the name's known. The name is known now.
Yeah.
But what I'm going to do is say, hey, listen, Willie, we've just been given our biggest contract ever. And you'll say, oh yeah, what is it? Now you take a picture up of Naz and say, we have to take him out. Get it all scripted and get him, and then say to people, if you know where Naz is, tell us on Facebook, and hopefully it'll get them going and have a laugh,
Yeah.
I mean, he's got quite a backstory, hasn't he? Because
Stephen, you're breaking up all the time now.
Yeah, Stephen, you're breaking.
I refresh. Okay, carry on.
Okay.
So David, yeah, we've got a lot of synergy here. We'll have to have a one-to-one and have a chat.
Yeah, absolutely. I welcome that. Well, and that's, kind of back to our topic again today of broadcasting in the community, which that's our topic every week. But, we've just created another community here between you and I. And it's really, every week I meet somebody through Steven or whoever I talk to. We probably know some of the same people and we just don't know it yet.
But I knew Steve Clark about that microphone, and do you know one of the things that gets me in life, and just because I've had that near-death experience recently, you go out thinking I'm going to make money at this, right?
Yeah.
It's the things that you go out and say, I'm going to do this for a bit of fun. Believe it or not, that's the ones that make you the money eventually.
Yeah. We talked about that last week, and I said, whatever you do, go out and do it, and do it sincerely, genuinely, and passionately, and don't worry about the money. Be concerned about the money, but don't worry about the money. And when you do that, people just want to be around you. They go, I want to be around someone sincere, genuine, and passionate and exciting. And when I say exciting, it doesn't have to be exciting like exciting. Exciting can just be what you're talking about, right? And people just want to be around that, and then they buy into you, and then they want to know more about you. But the key to it too is it takes time. You have to put in the time. It's not an overnight success. Maybe it is once in a 1,000 or so, but it takes time. It's like I call it live stream dating. You have to start, and you date for a while, and you take your time. Don't go too fast. Don't fall in love too quickly. Build the relationship, then get married, then you have kids. All that, right? So it's the live stream dating connection. Hey, I'm trademarking that.
Okay, right. Okay.
What was the thing, David? What time do you find best to have a live talk show?
When people are awake.
Right.
First of all,
daytime?
I think it depends what you're talking about. When I decided to do my live show Tuesday nights, 8:00 Eastern, why did I pick 8:00 Eastern? Supper's over. If they're still working, there's still time to relax. Maybe dad comes home, has a beer or whatever. It's that kind of thing. And the guests that I was going to have on, for example, like it's 1 o'clock in the afternoon here, so it's what, 6 o'clock in the UK, right?
Correct.
And then if I have somebody in Australia, so I was trying to find a medium as best I could time. Like Steven will never be on my 8 o'clock show because he's in bed at 8 o'clock.
Well, 1 o'clock in the morning, yeah.
Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, that's right. That's what yeah. So I think it depends what you're talking about. I do think like our local radio station here does a morning talk show from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. and she has no problem getting callers on.
Yeah.
So,
well, I phoned a local. I don't listen to music, believe it or not. I don't listen to music. I listen to radio talk shows all day. Yeah. And I phoned in one the first time for a very long time because I just burst in to give my view in defence of cyclists here. You know, we've got a big problem with and it just. But that's the sort of thing that, if I was to put on, people say, should they pay a road tax for cyclists here in Britain? I'd say, what a show that would be. I said, because guess what? Nobody pays road tax in Britain. And that would get it going. Yes, they do. So no, they don't pay vehicle emission tax. And some of them don't have any, like electric cars, and that would get it going. And something like that would be great. But it would have to be controlled. It would have to be on something like this and say, and the great thing was, your thumbs up, I'm going to mute you now. We've got a mute in this, by the way. We've got a mute button here yet.
Sorry? Yeah.
So we've got a mute button. So I say, listen, I'm going to have to mute you, and Mr. Smith will get his point across. Now, I think those would be great shows. They would build up. And
I actually, it's interesting. Sorry to interrupt, but just the phone thing though is different because it's like hiding behind the keyboard. It's like I can say my first name, but you don't know who, like that's why we have trouble getting people to come on screen here. It's going to take time. It will get there, but I've actually got a setup, and I'm thinking, because I don't have enough to do already, I need to do more. I'm looking at doing a talk show, and I have a setup of people can call in.
Right.
But I'll broadcast live on Facebook, and I'll just do the talk show on Facebook. But you'll be able to call, and you don't have to be seen.
That's good.
And I'm hoping to use that as a great show, but as a kind of a way to kind of train people to get closer to using the camera, if that makes sense. We'll call. I know I'm on Facebook, and it's a different audience too, right?
It definitely is, yeah. Right, just a couple of things to mention. First of all, thank you to Vincent. I'm looking forward to be on Vincent's show.
Yeah.
3 p.m. Eastern on Wednesday, and you're with Vincent. Which day is that, David?
October. I do have it written down, Vincent. October the 5th, I believe.
That's next week.
Yeah.
So I'm on next week, this week, and David's on next week, and I'm losing my signal.
I'm on. Yeah, October the 5th. I'll be on 4 o'clock.
Yeah. Okay. And the only other from my side is that today at 3 p.m. Eastern is the last ever Belive Weekly with Jeff Adams on belive.tv.
Oh, yeah.
If you can make it, that would be good. It should be.
It's almost like a funeral.
No, it's a celebration of everything that happened during the show.
Yeah, he was fantastic host.
The best. This is the best there is at the moment. No doubt about that. In terms of getting people involved. I mean, the brilliant thing about Jeff is he wasn't selling Jeff.
That's right.
He was selling Belive TV.
Yeah.
He was promoting the people who were using it. There was no personal promotion in it at all. I hope that continues with the new host.
For sure.
Right, Peter, do you have a call to action for everybody as we close the show?
Lost your I can't hear him.
Sorry, Pete. Sorry, when you said sorry, Peter. This is live video. You said when you said, "Can you mute me?" Well, unfortunately, the answer to that is yes. Can you do your call to action again, please?
Well, all I would say is just love your life. You know?
That's
And
brilliant.
just get out there and enjoy yourself. I know it can be hard at times, but we all get tough times. It wasn't meant to be easy. I look back at my life now, and the things I've done in the early days have all came to fruition, and we're getting there, and you can do the same too. And that's me got a clean bill of health, more or less now.
Excellent.
And I'll be on the show next Thursday, hopefully your own show.
Brilliant. Loving for Britain. All right, that's brilliant news. And David, your calls to action this week.
Oh, well, mine's always just do it, right? You know, I mean, I wish I'd have thought of that before Nike did. But yeah, you got to have an episode 1. And it's, you know, Peter pretty much said it. Do what you love. I mean, you know, people say, well, sometimes you got to do what you got to do. Yeah, I don't know. That's another show. But just do what you love as much as you can. And it's okay to but go out there and seek out the greatness in others. I've given talks here in my city, and I talk about that. Everyone, and I mean everyone, even the people you don't like, I challenge you to go and seek out the greatness in somebody you don't like. You would be amazed at what you will discover about them and about yourself. Seek out greatness.
Indeed. And speaking of similar, what if God asks you when you die, how was heaven? So it goes to Peter's thought. Thank you, Mark. Thank you, Vincent. Thank you, John.
Thank you, Stephen.
And Mike and everybody who's joined us. Thank you. And next week's show is being hosted by David, so I can sit back and relax, and I've got to think of the stories while David produces the show. So, Peter, thank you.
Thank you, Mark, for watching, and everybody else watching as well.
Indeed. We'll see you all again next week, same time. Take care. Have a great week. Bye. And